Now, Police Minister Begicele and National Commissioner General Fani Masemola are expected to visit the Tavern in Orlando East in Soweto, where 15 people were shot dead. 8 others have been hospitalized. The incident happened in the early hours of Sunday morning when 2 gunmen allegedly opened fire on patrons at the establishment. Pule Jones is tracking the story for us and joins us now for the very latest. Pule, good morning to you and happy Monday to you, a colleague. But under these circumstances, I wonder if it is one for the community in Soweto. Bring us the very latest from where you stand regarding, of course, this shooting.
Yeah, definitely, this was a very tragic incident that occurred just this weekend, and what we understand, like you've mentioned, that the National Commissioner of SAPS is expected to visit the crime scene where the incident happened. He's going to be joined by the Police Minister Begicele as well. And what we also have gathered here is that they're expected to receive a full report on this whole tragic incident that occurred. Of course, we also understand that the death toll had risen to 15 people that had, of course, lost their lives or succumbed to the incident. And we just there at the Matlolose Tavern where the incident actually happened in Nomzamo informal settlement. Maybe I'm just going to ask my colleague, as he's panning on my right-hand side, Diti Rosadepa, to show you just by the gate there, those are some of the blood stains that we witnessed upon our arrival here on the crime scene. Sort of a picture of the aftermath that had occurred. Quite a tragic incident. We saw yesterday how tensions were extremely high between Operation Dul and, of course, the economic freedom fighters as well. But the police had, of course, come here to try and comb for clues and see if they could have any leads which could push them to possible answers in trying to fast track their investigations. And of course, this comes in the wake of what we also witnessed just a few days ago at the eNCA, Tavern in Eastern Cape as well. Also coupled with that, we also know there were other tragic incidents that took place this past weekend, one of which was in Katlehong, and of course another in Pietermaritzburg.
With that being said, I mean, perhaps just give us, context, for anyone who might have missed the story, which is impossible, I'm sure, for this at this point. But just to reiterate what exactly happened at that particular tavern in Orlando, can you just narrate to us what we know so far in terms of what happened to those 15 people, unfortunately, when they met their death?
It's safe to say that there are still different versions to what had happened to the story, particularly upon those on the ground being community members. Some have alleged that this could be linked to a tribal clash between the Amaxhosa and the Soweto people, and those are some of the claims that have been made by residents in this area. Others are saying it's crime, and they're saying 2 men had jumped, of course, out of a quantum. There were allegedly 2 quantums that arrived here, and they opened fire on some of the patrons who were actually having a drink here in the tavern. And from there onwards, they decided to actually flee and leave the scene. I mean, just to show you again, this is just perhaps where this whole incident happened. It's still quiet inside. I haven't seen any movement or from the tavern owner coming to actually close this area or to try and address some of the community members or the media at this particular moment. But as you walk in, you see that, a lot of blood stains from the entrance going inside to show that, of course, this was a mass shooting and this was quite tragic and devastating as to how some of these patrons here lost their lives. I have to understand that that report that's currently within the possession of the police minister, which we understand he will be receiving today, will disclose and give out detail as to how far they are pertaining the investigations and as to if the manhunt has been successful, has there been any arrests. That report will detail almost everything in terms of giving a story as to what had transpired here.
Yeah, and hopefully could give some closure, Pule, as to what exactly happened. So traumatic. 15 people out at Nomzamo's informal settlements being shot dead. We appreciate you giving us this update. Colleague, we'll be sure to catch up with you as soon as there are other developments out in the area. That's Pule Jones out for us in Soweto.